Good morning and welcome back to my channel. It's Sunday the 2nd of February 2025 and it's about 9:15. I was going to make a video yesterday, but I was so absolutely shattered I couldn't string a sentence together. I had a night of being awake most of the night with pains in my legs. And then I realised this was not down to something I was doing, it was down to something I'd stopped doing, which was drinking enough water. So yesterday I drank plenty of smart water, which has magnesium in it, which is good for your legs anyway. And hey, I slept right through the night, no pain in my legs at all. So it's proved to me that I need to stop being lazy and drink the water. And the only reason I don't drink it is when I'm being lazy. So that was me yesterday. I was no use to man nor beast. Couldn't string a sentence together. We went for a 6-mile walk and Joe practically had to drag me for the whole 6 miles, didn't you? Mm-hmm. I was crap, basically, yesterday. And all I did in the afternoon was veg out in this chair. Didn't move. Well, I'm going to bring you a couple of things today to prove that in a way I am more than just a diet. Because sometimes I think we need to look at ourselves. And I always say, I am not Jane the blind person. I'm Jane. And I'm not Jane the Slimming World dieter. I'm Jane. There's a lot more to my life than dieting and being blind. And a few weeks ago, I think I probably said in my video, I was doing a no-spend January. And Irene picked me up on the fact that I'd been buying things, and I pointed out to her that actually I wasn't spending my money in January, I was spending Christmas money. And I'm still doing that. I'm still spending Christmas money even though we're into February. So I just wanted to share a couple of things that I'm buying, a couple of things that I'm doing. Right, firstly I'm topping up my Merrill barefoot shoes. Because even though I love these shoes and I wouldn't have anything else for walking in, I can walk through a pair in 3 months or probably less. This week I bought a pair in black to go with black trousers. They're just amazing. I love the pliability of them and the fact that they weigh next to nothing. And this means I can walk fast, and I like to walk fast. If I wore something like traditional trainers like Reeboks or Nikes or something like that, the fashion at the moment is such thick soles that I don't think they're really designed for walking fast and walking a long way in. They're designed for fashion and they do look good. But I need to be able to feel my feet and I need to be able to keep up with Joe because I'm 5'2" and he's 6 feet tall. And his stride is much longer than mine. So I'm probably taking 2.5, 3 steps to every, probably 2 steps to every one of his. So yeah, I bought a pair in black, got them on Amazon at a good price. I think I paid 63 and they should be about 105. And then also, while the offer was still on, I bought a pair in granite with, do you say, is that cerise? Fuchsia soles. My colour palette generally is black, greys, navies, some white, and maybe purples. I don't go for a load of colours. I know what I like, and I like what I know. And when I start getting into other colours, I can get very bogged down in what shade of green is this or what shade of whatever is this. So I like to stick to what I like. I'm not a person who you'll ever see wearing, excuse me, pinks or reds, things like that. I'm just not. I'm pretty plain Jane. No, I don't mean I'm pretty. I mean I'm pretty plain Jane. Okay. Right. Something I just wanted to touch on. One of the things I eat a lot of are Slimming World meals. And I've noticed a couple of times lately that when I've taken them out of the freezer, the pot has been cracked. And this has generally happened on the smaller meals, the lunchtime, excuse me, I've got a frog, the lunchtime meals. And when they're cracked, there's no way I'm going to put a cracked pot in the microwave, for the simple reason that if plastic is damaged and you put it in the microwave, it will leak unhealthy things. What would you say? Phthalates and BPAs, which are not good because your body will absorb them. So I found in my cupboard a Pyrex dish which pretty much matches the size of the lunchtime meals. And then I took a lid from another Pyrex, which is freezable, which just sits loosely on top. Now when you have the small lunchtime meals, you actually remove the lid off them and sit it loosely on top. So this really does replicate what they tell you to do, but I'm cooking in glass. So for anybody who cooks microwave meals regularly, I would say if you can, move over to taking the meal out of the microwave pot and putting it in glass. Health-wise, you're a lot safer. And the beauty of the Slimming World meals is they actually come out of the pots quite easy. If you just tweak the outside of the pots a bit and then turn it over, press the bottom, the whole thing will fall out into your bowl. And what I often do with mine, if I'm microwaving a bigger one or wanting to add vegetables to it, I put some frozen veg, usually with me it's cauliflower or spinach, put some frozen veg into the bowl with it and add 2 or 3 minutes to the cooking time. So last night I did the fragrant pork with noodles, which was really nice, first time I've tried that. And I added a bag of cauliflower rice and cooked it for 12 minutes instead of 8, and it was lovely. The night before I did the new vegan meal, which is the smoky black bean with rice. I actually liked that as well because it wasn't too smoky. It was flavoursome but not overpowering. And I added some frozen veg to that and microwaved it for 12 minutes instead of 8 minutes. And again, it was good and it bulks it out. Because those meals, I'm not sure the size of the small one, probably 350 grams. The big ones are 550. But I like bulk. I don't like small meals. And if I'm going to bulk it out, then I need to bulk it out with free food or speed food. And that works for me. Like, you know, I'm not the girl who eats one apple. I would eat probably 3 or 4 pieces of fruit chopped up in a bowl as my fruit with a meal. I'm a volume eater, but that's okay because that suits me. Doesn't suit everybody, but it suits me. Right, this week I've been watching a channel and the lady is called Nana M. That's M for mother. She's the same age as me, 68. Her name is Lynn and she's got a beautiful Lancashire accent. I don't know which bit of Lancashire she's from, but she's got a beautiful Lancashire accent. And she does talk about weight loss on her channel. It's not a Slimming World channel or a Weight Watchers channel. She talks about healthy eating. And it's very much a sort of family vlog style channel. But she does touch on shopping hauls, clothing hauls. She does a lot of clothing hauls, Marks and Spencer's and H&M and different places. She does a lot of food hauls, mainly Tesco or Marks. But one of the things she actually touched on this week, and she was promoting it, I guess you say, because she has a voucher code for a 25% discount, was a range of perfumes. Now, do you say dupes or copies? Do you know what I mean? I've never bought a perfume before that is a copy or a dupe. In the last 20 years, I've probably used 2 perfumes. I'm very much Angel by Thierry Mugler or Santal by, can you say who it's by, Joe?
Le Beau.
Le Beau?
Yeah.
Le Beau. Which we buy from Liberty, London. I'm not a perfume like aficionado. I know what I like and I use what I like. Now, some of my friends use loads of different perfumes for different occasions. Again, I like to keep things simple. So at this moment in time, I possess 2 perfumes. Or I use 2 perfumes. Well, I'm watching this lady, and all the times I've ever watched people talk about dupes, nobody has ever talked about a dupe of my favourite perfume. Now, you can get a dupe of Angel, and I've smelled that before, and I don't think it smells anything like Angel. But that's maybe how it smells on me. I tried it because a friend had some, and she squirted it on my wrist, and it didn't smell anything like Angel. But we've all got different body oils, haven't we? And perfumes can perfumes can smell very different on very different people. My mum has always used one particular perfume called Youth Dew, and that smells like cat pee on me. So you've got to be careful what you use, and you've got to be sure it suits you. Well, I was watching Lynn this week, and she was talking about this company called Dialect, who I'm not promoting, pardon me, but if you want to see it, go and look at her channel, and you'll see videos with it in the title. And Lynn has a 25% discount code, which works, and I know because we used it. So she's talking about perfumes, and she's talking about Thingy Ford, I don't know his name, somebody Ford. And Tom Ford, thanks Joe. She's talking about Tom Ford's perfumes, which I don't know any of those, I've never experienced any of those. And she was saying what good dupes they are. And then lo and behold, she mentioned my perfume. Now, the perfume I use every day is this one, and it's called Santal 33 by Lele Boss. She talked about this perfume, which is called Chic Sandalwood by Dialect. So out of curiosity, and totally purely only out of curiosity, because at the moment we've got 2 bottles of this in the house, we ordered some to try it. Now, I'm going to say this is lovely. If you like sandalwood, these Santal and this one are both a unisex fragrance. This one, the Dialect one, is lovely if you like sandalwood, which I do. And I would say, I'll use it. I'll use up this bottle. This one is out of this world. The difference is, this one smells of top notes, violets and irises, going down to Australian sandalwood. So as it wears on during the day, you get the Australian sandalwood, but it's subtle. Strong enough to say, I've got it on. Strong enough to say, yeah, that's sandalwood, but you've got the smell of violets and irises. This one smells much more of sandalwood. I would say, if anything, this one is a bit more middle-aged bloke sandalwood. And I should know middle-aged bloke because I'm older than them. This is more something that I could say an older man would enjoy, whereas this is something Joe would wear because it's manly enough without being older man, if you know what I mean. I mean, Joe's 31. It's not an older man's fragrance. Having said that, my hairdresser uses this and he's in his 50s. But he's in his 50s going on in his 30s, if you know what I mean. This one, with Lynn's 25% discount, came in at just over £20, with postage just under £25. This one, if you buy it from Liberty London, is postage free, but it'll cost you £230. This one is 100 mils, this one is 50. The first thing I noticed was how heavy they are. This one is a really heavy bottle. It weighs 280 grams and has 100 mils of perfume, so 3 point something ounces. This one is 50 grams and weighs 210 grams, so I don't know whether they've made this bottle heavy to duplicate this, because it comes in a very heavy bottle, or whether all of their perfumes come in this weight of bottle. But I would say, if you're interested, if you're interested in perfumes and you want to go across to the lady I was watching, who is called Nana M, and have a look at what this company actually do. I'm not promoting this company. I don't promote anything on my channel, but I will show you and share with you things that I use. And this is something I use every day. And this is something I would use maybe more daytime than nighttime. Okay, well, let's talk Slimming World. I went to group on Thursday, which was different this week. I went to the new group, which is a group that my Slimming World consultant Yvonne has been running for quite some time. I liked the group very much indeed. The people were so welcoming, so friendly. And it's a big group, it's a popular group, it's what I would class as a good Slimming World group. A lot of camaraderie, a lot of friendliness, people supporting each other, a lot of chatting before group, and I was included. I wasn't sitting there on my own like Billy No Mates. Lovely, really enjoyed it. But I had one problem. The acoustics in the room, because it's in a church hall and I think it must have had a higher ceiling, the acoustics in the room were such that I struggled to hear. Now it's hard enough being blind without not being able to hear as well. And I sat there through the meeting thinking, this is a really good meeting. It would be a lot better if I could hear what people were saying. This week it was Slimming World's Biggest Loser. And the person who got the Biggest Loser in our group on Thursday was a chap called Steve. And he got a good weight loss and a good story to tell. I think I heard his weight loss, which was 4 stone 12 pounds, but I didn't hear much of his story. I just could not hear. And I sat there thinking, just put up, don't say anything, just make the most of it, don't say anything. And then when we came out of the meeting, I thought to myself, if I don't say anything today, then I'll lose my nerve and I won't say anything to Yvonne. And I just had to say to her, you know, that was a really good group. I enjoyed it. The people are lovely. But I couldn't hear enough. So I know it's my problem. It's not the group's problem. Because obviously people who can see without realising, listen and partly lip read. As in, you can tell what somebody's saying because of the way their mouth's moving. So if you think, oh, did he say that or did he say that? Well, you can make sense of it because of the mouth motion. But I couldn't. And I thought, if I don't say something as I'm leaving today, because Joe picked me up after the meeting, then by next week or the week after, I'll have lost my courage and I won't say anything. So I said to her, to Yvonne on the way out, that was a really good meeting. And I mean, she's so motivating. She's so full of life. But if you can't hear what's being said, I mean, I could hear the lady who was sitting next to me, who was another Yvonne. There was a very nice lady sitting on the other side of her. And I felt like an idiot because I couldn't hear a word she said. I kept having to say, pardon. And I just, the acoustics in the room were just not right for me. Anyway, I talked to Joe about it. I thought about it overnight and I thought, what's got to come first here is my journey, my weight loss, my recovery from the problems that I've been having in the last couple of years with overeating. So I talked to Joe and Joe said, look, come on, whichever meeting you want to go to, I'll get you there. I'll pick you up. I'm not going to influence what you need to do. You've got to decide, which is fair enough. So I thought about it, gave it due care and consideration, and I rang Yvonne and I said, look, I'm really reluctant to leave you because you've done so much good for me in the last 8 months. But if I can't hear, as time goes on, I'm not going to get a lot from other people. Now, image therapy stands for individual motivation and group experience. Well, if I'm sitting there like an idiot and can't hear what people are saying, I'm not going to get a lot of positivity from any group experience. I need that. I really need the encouragement and enthusiasm that comes from other people in that room. So I told Yvonne, and going back to my previous group, even though you won't be there, I'm going to have to go back to where I can hear it properly. She told me about other groups that she runs that I'm very welcome to go to, and I may well do that at some point in the future. I know where she is and when she's there. She also asked me to keep in touch with her and tell her how I'm doing, which is really nice, and I will do that. And she also contacted somebody in my old group to tell them I would be coming back and to look out for me and give me any help I needed, which is so thoughtful of her. I'm grateful for that. So I went to group on Thursday, had a perfect 9 days on plan, because it was 2 days over my normal group period. Got on the scales and maintained. Now if I say I'm happy with that, that's the truth. If I say I wouldn't have liked to give the scales a quick, swift kick, then I wouldn't be being honest, because I would have. I didn't understand in my head how I could be 100% on plan for 9 days and get a maintain. But I've since listened to a really good podcast by somebody called Corinne. I think her podcast channel is called Losing 100 Pounds with Corinne. She's brilliant. She swears a lot, so if you want to go and listen to her, be aware you'll get quite a few F words and different bits and bobs. But my goodness, she's lost 100 pounds and kept it off for 15 years, and she talks sense, real sense. So I listened to one of her podcasts, which was about losing weight slowly, and she said, in all honesty, if you're on the right trajectory, you need to be prepared for at least 1 or even 2 maintains a month. Because you're not doing this in a way of starving yourself to lose weight quickly. You're doing this in a way of eating well to lose weight slowly. So look at the bigger picture. If you're maintaining once or twice a month, if you're gaining half a pound or a pound once a month, it's the bigger picture. You've got to look at the journey over the year. Is it a downward trajectory? So this morning I looked at my figures for December and January. In December I lost 6.5 pounds, which is way above what I'm aiming for. In January I lost 3.5 pounds, that's great. But when I look at my figures, my first week in January I maintained, my second week I lost 2 pounds, my third week I lost 1.5 pounds, my fourth week I maintained. But it's the bigger picture. I lost 3.5 pounds in the month, which is far more than I'm in my head and in my intention and in my behaviour. I'm eating to lose half a pound a week. So over 4 weeks, a 2 pound loss should have been what I was chasing, and I lost 3.5. So how could I be disappointed in that?